Welcome to the deep dive. We got a request to look into this idea of toxic people.
Right.
You wanted a quicker but still deep grasp on, well, what that really means behavior-wise and how it impacts us.
Exactly. So we've looked at a discussion from YouTube, actually, that laid out 6 key signs.
Sure.
Things you might see in relationships or, at work.
And our goal here is to unpack those signs, make them super clear and relatable.
Let's do it.
Okay, first up, constant negativity. And this isn't just like having an off day, right? It's this persistent, ongoing negative view on everything.
Yeah, it's more than just pessimism. It's like a default setting.
Yeah.
The source gave a good example. You share some great news,
Right.
and the response is something like, oh, that's nice, but, it could always get worse. Or they find the cloud in the silver lining every single time.
Yeah, that sounds incredibly draining. It really does pull the energy down.
It totally does. Makes you almost afraid to share anything positive.
Like a joy vacuum. Okay, so building on that kind of, draining feeling, sign number 2.
Manipulative behavior. This is using tactics, often subtle ones, like guilt tripping, or maybe lying, playing the victim card, essentially to get what they want.
That example you mentioned, the if you really cared about me, you would.
Yes.
That really nails it. It's using emotion to create this sense of obligation.
Exactly. It's emotional leverage, pure and simple.
Yeah.
And it really erodes trust, doesn't it? It creates this unhealthy dynamic.
Definitely undermines your own feelings, your autonomy. Okay, third sign.
Lack of accountability. So this is when someone just rarely, if ever, takes responsibility for their own actions. It's always someone else's fault. They're quick to blame others or circumstances.
This source mentioned missing a deadline and saying, well, it wasn't my fault. The project was just disorganized.
Classic deflection. Yeah. The focus is always external, never internal. They don't look at their part in it.
And that means nothing ever really gets resolved, right? There's no learning, no growth, because they haven't acknowledged their role.
Precisely. Which leads sort of naturally into the next one.
Yeah.
Excessive criticism.
Okay. Different from constructive feedback, I assume.
Oh, completely. Constructive feedback aims to help. This is relentless negativity. It tears down. It doesn't build up.
So like constant fault finding, maybe statements like, you always mess this up, or you'll never get it right.
Yes, exactly. Those kinds of things. Often without any positive comments mixed in. It just wears you down.
Yeah, that would crush your self-esteem over time, creates a really toxic, negative environment.
Definitely. It makes you second guess yourself constantly.
Okay, number 5.
Controlling behavior. And this is about, trying to control someone else's actions, their decisions, even how they think or feel.
Going beyond just advice then.
Way beyond. The source pointed to things like dictating what someone should wear or who they can hang out with, how they spend their time. And sometimes it's sneakily disguised as caring or looking out for you.
Right. I'm only saying this because I care. But really, it's about control. It limits freedom.
It stifles individuality. It can really mess with your sense of self and your personal boundaries.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, last one, number 6.
A lack of empathy. This is a real difficulty in, understanding or sharing the feelings of other people.
So they might seem kind of cold or indifferent when you're upset.
Exactly. Or they dismiss your feelings.
Yeah.
The example used was saying things like, oh, you're just overreacting, or it's not that big a deal.
Oof, that invalidates your whole experience.
It does. It makes interactions feel very one-sided, very lonely, actually. You feel unheard, unsupported.
Wow. Okay, so let's just quickly recap those 6 signs from the source material. We had constant negativity,
Manipulation,
lack of accountability,
excessive criticism,
controlling behavior.
and finally, that lack of empathy.
Right. And the big takeaway here for you listening is really about recognizing these patterns.
Absolutely. That awareness is honestly the most critical first step. It's what allows you to start protecting your own well-being.
Yeah, it gives you the power to set boundaries, maybe seek out healthier relationships.
Your mental and emotional health has to come first. Surrounding yourself with genuinely supportive, positive people is key.
So true. Okay, so here's something to think about as we wrap up. Reflecting on these signs, negativity, manipulation, blame, criticism, control, lack of empathy, maybe consider. How might these behaviors show up in really subtle ways, perhaps in places you haven't thought about before, like maybe online or even in broader group dynamics?
That's a good point.
And how can just being more aware of these subtle forms actually empower you to build, stronger and genuinely more positive connections in your life?